Alright guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of the Forest Lawn Hollywood Hills Memorial Park Grave Tour, and just across from that mosaic, right here on the very south side, is a giant garden right across the street. And the first person we're going to visit here is Mr. David Carradine. And I know you know the name, you definitely know the face. He was the star of the Kill Bill movies. He played Bill in the Kill Bill movies. And yeah, he's a very talented martial artist and actor, and he was also on the Kung Fu series, the TV series in the 80s as well. So you definitely know Mr. David Carradine, and God, who can forget Kill Bill? Well, such great movies, right? So good. Okay, I'm gonna try to go really fast right now because there's a major funeral gonna happen here today, or maybe tomorrow. I think it's gonna be today. There are Los Angeles police over by the big mosaic area, and I was doing another grave over on that side, and as I was walking, I heard them talking, and the building behind me, that big building, they were talking about putting, like, you know, sharpshooters up there and stuff like that, like security. They were just talking about where they're gonna position their people and this and that. So I'm like, okay, who's getting buried today? Who's going to have a funeral here today that I don't know about, that no one knows about, that they have police and they're going to be putting people up on the top of that building? Pretty crazy. So I'm going to go pretty quick just to kind of get out of this area because I don't know when it's going to happen. There are like 9 different funerals here happening today, but something and someone important is going to be laid to rest today at a very important funeral, that's for sure. Okay, and walking along, I noticed these baseballs. There's a baseball and a softball. And right here we have Mr. Gary Marshall, very famous director. He directed Pretty Woman, Princess Diaries. He created Happy Days. I mean, God, like, how brilliant was this man? He made such great art. And he's resting right here, and somebody laid a baseball here. And I actually think that somebody messed with the balls because I believe the baseball is supposed to be over here. Let me get my shadow out of the way, but here is his sister, Miss Penny Marshall. Yeah, I mean, we know her as best from the Laverne and Shirley TV series, and she also directed a League of Their Own as well. So that's why the baseball should be over here, and the softball should be over on Gary Marshall's plot right there. So yeah, very, very cool. They're resting right here together. They have a bench. And they have a big plot, so very big plot right next to the statue of Abraham Lincoln. That's gorgeous too. It's just so beautiful out here, guys. I gotta tell you, it's beautiful out here. So here we go, Miss Penny Marshall, Mr. Gary Marshall. I'm gonna fix the balls for them as well. And as we kind of just turn around, just across the sidewalk right here is Mr. Dick Van Patten. And we all know him. He was the dad on the 8 is Enough TV show from the 80s. And also he was in the movie Spaceballs, as well as Robin Hood Men in Tights. I mean, he was a great comedic actor. So good, so funny. His timing, his delivery, oh God, amazing. And yeah, I mean, I recognized the name right away. I wasn't here to see Mr. Patton today, but as I was, you know, leaving right here with Miss Penny Marshall, Mr. Gary Marshall, I mean, it's literally steps away, and I could not miss it, so I had to make sure and pay my respect right here as well. Mr. Dick Van Patten, 12/9/28 to June 23rd, 2015. And just right up on top, on the next level up, we're going to find the final resting place of Mr. Jeff Thomas Porcaro, April 1st, 1954, August 5th, 1992, and you're going to know him from the band Toto, and mostly known as the drummer from the band Toto. God, they had the big hit Africa. I know you guys know that song. You can go ahead and Google it if you need to, but yeah, drummer, man. He made the sounds. He was an amazing drummer in the 80s, and he kind of idealized like what drumming was all about back then. So I mean, he was the sound of the 80s with drumming, and he's resting right here. Beautiful spot. Well, we've got a new grave getting dug up right now, and it's actually right next to where I wanted to go next, and I wanted to visit Mr. Scatman Carruthers. So he was a famous jazz musician, and famously actually known for the Aristocrats movie by Disney, the cartoon. He landed the role of Scat Cat, and I think that's where the name kind of came from. So God, Scat Cat, that's a memorable character. He was also in The Shining as well. So yeah, very very talented and successful actor and performer. Mr. Scatman Crothers, 1910 to 1986. Okay, we made our way over to the northeast section of this called it's called the Courts of Remembrance. And there's actually a lot of people in here we're going to go and visit, and it is big. It is a labyrinth of walkways, so it's going to be interesting. But look how beautiful the Hollywood Hills are. God, it's absolutely stunning, right? Okay, so today has been quite interesting. I've been dodging funerals all day long. There's at least 12 going on and one major one. Like I said, there's something major going on here today with the amount of police presence going on and the way they were kind of pinpointing where they're going to put safety and security people at. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm here on a crazy day. Okay, so as you walk up to the Courts of Remembrance, you're going to find right here, you're going to find this beautiful statue right along the wall. And this is the tomb of the extremely talented and famous Betty Davis. You guys know the song lyric, Betty Davis Eyes, and all that kind of stuff, but God, Betty Davis, how extraordinary was she? April 5th, 1908 to October 6th, 1989. She did it the hard way. Yeah, I mean, she was like, back during her time, she was like number 2 on the list of performers, I think below just Marilyn Monroe during that time. She had an outstanding 11 Academy Award nominations. 11, that is crazy. And she actually won 2. She won 2 Oscars, one for Dangerous and one for Jezebel. But she was just, wow, she was amazing. She was gorgeous for one. But she was just, God, she was such a firecracker, that lady. She was a wonderful piece of work. So talented, so legendary. Such a gorgeous crypt right here. Beautiful. I guess I should say tomb, right? This would be a tomb, not a crypt. But it is beautiful. All right, and I don't really know where I'm going, so I'm going to kind of wander around and figure it out. I guess I'm just going to start this way and kind of go as we find people. There's all these little rooms. So like here's the Columbarium of Remembrance. There's another Columbarium of Remembrance. So it is a big place. All right, and we're kind of still on the same side, and as we come over around the corner, we're going to see the Columbarium of Remembrance. And right here, you're going to find a single rose, and that belongs to Mr. Ub Iwerks. And you're not going to recognize the name, but Ub Iwerks, this man, very important. He was Walt Disney's right-hand man, and he is actually the artist that co-created Mickey Mouse with Walt Disney. Walt Disney had the vision, he had the voice of Iwerks, he put it on paper. He is the one that basically illustrated the entire Steamboat Willie cartoon himself. Pretty cool, right? Very, very, little known name, but God, what he did and gave us Mickey Mouse as an image, wow, just genius. Mr. Ub Iwerks, 1901 to 1971. Okay, and I was just kind of looking, because I was looking at Mr. Iwerks' niche, and then I was looking at this statue here, and kind of just looking at the names, and nothing really rang a bell till I got to this bottom corner, and I see Mr. Jack Alvey Moore, Mr. Wonderful of Hollywood. Now, he is going to be best known for playing Hank Kimball on the TV show Green Acres. He was the agent for, I forget her name on the show, but God, isn't that just crazy? Again, an accidental famous grave find, but right here is the niche of Mr. Jack Alvey Moore. Very cool and very beautiful statue. All right, and just coming around the corner up the stairs, it is so stunning. I mean, it really is gorgeous. And, there's something right here that you just cannot miss. You walk straight down this main sidewalk, and right here to the right, you just cannot miss it. All right here we find Mr. Showmanship himself, Mr. Liberace, in this tomb, sitting right here. Liberace, son and brother, 1919 to 1987. God, look at that, Sheltered Love. Beautiful piano with the Liberace signature right there. God, that is absolutely stunning. I mean, his piano skills were unbelievable. His fingers, I can't believe how amazing he was. I mean, he was like I think he was the highest paid performer through the 50s and 70s. And then I most know his music from the Ghostbusters soundtrack. Whenever the Ecto-1 is driving around town, they're playing that music, his piano music. It's, oh my God, it's so memorable. And yeah, that's what I remember his music from. You know, I was born in late 70s, so I remember that the most rather than everything else he accomplished. He did so many things, and sadly, he was one of the first, I guess the first, high name entertainers to pass away from AIDS. Actually, he denied being, gay most of his life, and he did unfortunately pass away from AIDS-related symptoms in 1987. So, extremely sad. But right here, Mr. Liberace. What a beautiful tomb. And I found this rock over here, this purple rock with a heart, and I believe it's supposed to be here. I believe someone moved it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set it back up on. Let's see if we can set it right here so it doesn't slide. There we go. I believe it was supposed to be here. Perfect. Back where it belongs. Alright, we're going to walk over to this far corner, to this little itty-bitty room called the Columbarium of Radiant Dawn. Very well hidden back here, like you can barely see the door. And we're going to look for the original spot where, oh, it's actually right here. I see it. I know exactly where it's at. So right here, next to Frank Novak, in this empty white spot, is the original resting spot of Lucille Ball. That is her niche. She was there from 1989 when she passed away until 2002 when they actually moved it. They moved her remains back over to her hometown of Jamestown, New York. So right here, next to this Novak niche, was the original resting spot of Lucille Ball. Pretty amazing, right? And as we come over here to the other corner, we're going to see this beautiful statue right here. And just below is the niche of Walter Lantz, 1899 to 1994. You're not going to recognize the name, but you are going to recognize who he created. He is the voice and the creator of Woody Woodpecker. Isn't that a beautiful little spot right here? Beautiful statue. And right there, Mr. Walter Lantz. Coming from the main sidewalk, you'll end up on the right and you'll see the Sanctuary of Light. And in here, we're going to visit two people who left their mark on Hollywood history. I just got to find out. There they are. Pretty easy to find, actually. Right here, Mr. George Raft, 1895 to 1980. And he was in the original Scarface movie, and he kind of became known as a tough, in these gangster and mob movies back in the early, 40s and 50s. And he actually had some kind of affiliation with actual New York mobsters. So that's why his kind of light and kind of presence became well known because of that. So he was just known as this tough guy of Hollywood. And then just to the left of George Raft, we're going to find a name you're going to know very well. Freddie Prinze, 1954 to 1977. His TV show was called Chico and the Man. And unfortunately, he did pass away from a gunshot wound to the head when he was just 22 years old. He suffered from depression, something that is, God, it is a very serious matter. You definitely know his son, Freddie Prinze Jr. So that's how you'll know the name. If you weren't familiar with him, you're definitely familiar with his son. And then as you turn around from Mr. Freddie Prinze, kind of pretty far up here on the wall, you're going to find Miss Wanda Hendricks. Now, you're not going to know the name, but she was a star of so many films in the 40s and 50s. No big name movies or nominations or anything, just a steady line of movie after movie after movie. Miss Wanda Hendricks right here. November 3rd, 1928, February 1st, 1981. To know her was to love her. All right, we kind of come around this corner, and over here is Mr. Albert Broccoli. He is known as being the producer for the James Bond films. He brought us Dr. No, as well as many others after that. Albert Broccoli. Okay, and as you pass up Mr. Broccoli, you're going to come to the Columbarium of Providence. And right in here, in this very top corner, and it's nice that they replaced the placard, but this is the niche of Joshua Ryan Evans. January 10th, 1982. August 5th, 2002. And you're going to know Josh Ryan Evans as the Little Grinch in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey movie. He played the Little Grinch, so we know him from that movie very, very well. And yeah, so this is where he's resting, right inside this beautiful little area. Okay, and then to the left of the doorway, you're going to find right here Mr. Bobby Troup and Julie London Troup. So they were married, obviously. Bobby Troup, we are going to know very well because he wrote the very first edition and the standard of the song Route 66. That was him, Bobby Troup. And then Julie London was a beautiful singer, just such a beautiful voice through her time as well. And they're just right here in this little niche in the corner. And just outside, we're going to find Isabel Sanford, who played Wheezy on The Jeffersons. Very, very famous actress. She was actually the first African-American actress to win an Emmy, I believe, for her role as Wheezy as well. So, very cool. She's resting right here in this wall crypt. Alright, and then on the wall to the left, you're going to find this giant wall of niches. And we're going to go right over here, and around eye level in this corner, we're going to find Disney animator Art Babbitt. Where is he at? Right here. Right there, Art Babbitt, 1907 to 1992. And you're not going to know the name, but you're going to know who he's famous for creating. He is credited with creating Goofy. Isn't that cool? Right here, Mr. Art Babbitt. So, not a big name, but man, what he created was so important. Alright guys, we're taking a little walk down this hill. And we're gonna go, I'm trying to stay, in between all the different graves, but right here where the markers kind of change directions, and there's Walt Disney Studios right over there where that water tower is. We're gonna go right here, actually. Wow, that was pretty easy to find. Mary Kay Bergman, and you're gonna know her from South Park. She was the one who did all the female voices on the cartoon series before she passed away in 1999. Isn't that cool? God, I love South Park. I can't tell you how many episodes I have memorized and lines I still say from South Park. It's just, what a phenomenal show it is. And right here, Mrs. Mary Kay Bergman. June 5th, 1961 to November 11th, 1999. One soul of 1,000 voices, now an angel's chorus of bright red wings, bringing laughter and joy to the heavens above. And as you come all the way back here, on the very far right, you're going to find the Sanctuary of Enduring Protection. And right here on the wall, we're going to find Miss Sandra Dee. April 23rd, 1942, February 20th, 2005. Unforgettable and always loved. And you're going to know Sandra Dee. She played Gidget, obviously, in the movie. But a lot of people are going to know her from the song in Grease. The way they say, "Look at me, I'm Sandra Dee." That is like, that's how a lot of people got to know her, even more so after her acting and everything was from that song. Beautiful blonde, hair, and just an outstanding actress. Right here, Miss Sandra Dee. All right, I'm pretty sad about this next clip because I did have a corrupt file somehow on this next one, which very much saddens me because I was a huge fan of Naya Rivera. We all know and love her from the TV show Glee. I did also get the opportunity to bump into her. I didn't meet her, but I bumped into her a couple times at the Oakland Raiders games. Her brother was playing for the Oakland Raiders at the same time that my oldest daughter was a cheerleader for the Oakland Raiders. So I did love the TV show Glee. She was just such an amazing, young, beautiful talent. And I am saddened that this video clip did not save correctly. I don't know what happened, but here is a screen grab from somebody else's picture. I do not know who posted this picture, but I went ahead and used it. You can get a quick glance on the Sandra Dee clip just before this video of Naya Rivera's crypt as I walk by it, and I did film hers next. So just super sad that the clip did not save properly, but here is a screen grab of Miss Naya Rivera's final resting place. Okay, and as you come outside to the right, you're going to find the tomb of singer and musician Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie James Dio, he was the lead singer of the band Black Sabbath for a long time before he created his own band called Dio. And he actually did have a hit song with that, that other band that he's not really well known for after Black Sabbath. But they, God, what do you have? He had Holy Diver It was like the big hit. I mean, that is a phenomenal song, and that's the Dio's. Like, that's Dio's biggest song, you know, outside of Black Sabbath. But right here, Mr. Ronnie James Dio, beautiful musician. Oh, and look at this. We got the rock horns right here. That is so cool. Let me see what's on the other side, because we do have a little statue right here, and there they are. We got matching left and right. That's pretty cool. Ronnie James Dio, guys, right here. And we're coming into this southeast courtyard, and I mean, there's somewhere I got to go right now after this, but I have to go into here first, because this is a very, very talented man who's resting over here. All right, and inside here on the left is Mr. John Coffey himself from the Green Mile. Oscar nominee, Michael Clarke Duncan. December 10th, 1957 to September 3rd, 2012. What a beautiful man this guy was. He was just outstanding. Incredible actor, incredible person. And God, the Green Mile, if that role and what he did in that movie did not touch you, then you don't have a soul. But my goodness, was he phenomenal. Michael Clarke Duncan. All right, and as we come along this very south wall, we're going to find the tomb of Miss Debbie Reynolds and Miss Carrie Fisher. Two legends. Just an incredible, amazing story behind both of these. We know Debbie Reynolds. I was actually just in San Francisco doing a video on Eddie Fisher, her husband, and Carrie Fisher's father. And God, Debbie Reynolds did so many things in her time. Just an amazing, amazing actress. And then, of course, the mother of Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher. And, you know, Carrie Fisher died very suddenly, you know, while just after filming Star Wars, I believe. And man, it's crazy because, you know what, this is motherly love if I've ever seen it, you know. So Carrie Fisher, if we look at the date, right, we look at the date she died, December 27th, 2016. And then we look at Debbie Reynolds, December 28th, 2016. So Debbie Reynolds actually suffered a stroke the day after Carrie Fisher passed away while trying to plan Carrie Fisher's funeral arrangements. She just could not tolerate it, and the love she had for her daughter literally killed her. Like, it's so unbelievable and so sad. But they are here resting together. Oh man, this one hits home. This one hits hard. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and my gosh, like, just the heartbeat right now is racing just being here. It is so crazy. And we have some flowers here, not a lot. Somebody did leave a rock. There's some more bouquets on this side as well, but I feel like I should have brought something. I honestly didn't realize that they were here. I thought they were at the other forest lawn, but I saw it from across the hall, the courtyard, I should say, while walking over here. This is beautiful. Debbie Reynolds, Carrie Fisher. All right, and we're still out here looking at the Hollywood Hills, and the sun is getting nice and hot and shining right here on another superstar, Mr. Andy Gibb. March 5th, 1958, March 10th, 1988, An Everlasting Love. And he is the youngest of the Gibb brothers of the Bee Gees, the iconic band. God, and Mr. Andy Gibb, he even had his own solo hit later on, I Want to Be Your Everything. We know that song is such a beautiful song. God, that sound that the Bee Gees had. Oh, one of a kind, right? Mr. Andy Gibb. All right, and just to the left, kind of turning that corner, we're going to find legendary singer, Mr. Lou Allen Rawls. Oh, what a smooth, buttery voice he had. God, his best known song is probably You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine, I believe is the title. But, that voice. What an outstanding singer this guy was. Lou Allen Rawls, December 1st, 1933, January 6th, 2006. Yeah, buddy. All right, guys, that's going to conclude our tour today of the Forest Lawn Hollywood Hills Memorial Park. So, God, I feel like, I've been walking around forever and driving around forever. And my goodness, like, there are still hundreds of people I could visit and pay my respects to, but I just had to pick and choose kind of who, I wanted to show, and then also, like, like people along the way that I found that I wasn't expecting to see. So yeah, God, very, very cool tour, and I am so happy I got to pay my respects to all these people today. So all right, join me on the next adventure. Have a great day.